You just printed something out on your edible image printer just to find that the stinking colors are faded and not bright and pretty. What do you do? In this video, I'm going to show you. Hi, it's Karolyn. Welcome back to my channel. I'm a professional cake decorator, and on this channel I share my tips and tricks and ways that I bake and decorate cakes to help you along your journey. So if you'd like to join me, hit the subscribe button and the bell so you can get notified whenever I release a new video. So I have to say, I stinking love my edible printer system. And they are the best thing ever until they give you some problems, and then they can be a little bit of a headache. I am making a baby shark cake this week, and my boyfriend loves that song. Why? He tortures me and he plays it and he sings it, and whenever I make a baby shark cake, it's always in my head. But anyway, I stupidly printed this on an edible image icing sheet before I tested the colors and wasted a whole sheet of this icing paper. However, as you can see, the sharks are just not bright and vibrant, and neither are the fish. They're just kind of lackluster, if you will. I've had quite a few people ask me what to do because they've had the same issue, and I told you guys that I would film it the next time that I had the issue. And real quick, before we get started, I designed my first free guide for you guys. It's a birthday cake design blueprint. It'll help you come up with ideas for your birthday cakes, and I will link that in the description below. So let's get into the video. All right, I'm making a baby shark cake, and I just printed this out. And these colors are really faded. This is supposed to be like a darker blue and a brighter pink. So I just want to fix this issue, and this is what we're gonna do. This is a Canon TS702. I got this from Icing Images. I can link this below. So what I wanna do, I'm going to remove the cartridges and inspect them. The sponges may be a little dry. When you get the cartridges, they come with these little orange clips. I never throw these clips out just because of stuff like this. You need to use the clips if you have to remove the cartridges. So I just keep them in a little drawer next to my printer. So I want to lift this up. This may be different if you have a different model. And now I want to remove the cartridges. So I have these clips here. I'm just going to press up. There's these little nubbins here. I always call everything a nubbin. It's just because I'm a friends freak. But anyway, you press in this little clip, it'll lift up. And then to put it on the clip, you just don't want any ink dripping out of here, and this little stopper helps prevent that. So I'm going to slide the end onto the clip like that, so it comes to the other side, and then just press here and snap it shut. So I'm going to remove all of them and do the same thing. All right, now I'm at my sink and I'm wearing gloves because this stuff stains your hands really well. So a lot of times the sponge here starts to dry out a little bit, and what you need to do is allow some more ink to flow through the sponge. So what I want to do, I'm doing this over the sink because the ink is going to drip out of the bottom. I'm going to remove this. And now there's these little stoppers here which help prevent all of the ink from flowing out at once. So I want to remove the stopper and just allow some of the ink to get to the sponge and drip down a little bit. And then I'm going to put the stopper back in. So gently lifting this up, and you'll see ink starting to flow out. So I'm going to tilt it down. Now it's really getting the sponge wet. And now I'm just going to push that stopper back in here. I place that back into the orange clip. Now my cartridge is also low on ink, so I'm going to grab my refill and refill it as well. I have a video which I explain in detail how I refill my ink cartridges. I will link that below because I don't want this video to be too long. So I will link that so you can see explained in detail how I refill these ink cartridges. And now this is good. The sponge is wetter. It's not as dry as it was. And the ink cartridge is refilled. You can only refill these ink cartridges 3 times before you have to replace them. And now I'm gonna work on the other colors. So this yellow one, can you see the sponge looks super dry right now? So there's not a lot of color going through here. This is why my colors look really washed out. So removing this, and again, I'm gonna lift up the stopper, tilt it, so it goes down to the sponge and really wets that sponge. You could see the sponge fills with the color, and then place that back down. All right, now doing this, it does stink. You do lose a little bit of the ink, but it's, you know, it's better to let your sponge start to absorb and just refill a little more ink than to waste the whole cartridge. And now I am going to replace this on here and refill this as well. And I'm gonna do the same for the blue and the black. So since this does make a little bit of a mess, I just want to take a paper towel and dab these and just make sure that there's no ink that is leaking or going to drip. Now I'm going to go back to the printer. I'm going to bring a few paper towels with me just in case just in case ink gets anywhere, and I'll be able to clean it up easily. All right, I did clean my printer head not too long ago, so I don't think that the printer head is clogged. I will link my video on how I clean my printer head below in case you want to see that. And now I just want to put all of these back where they belong. They are all labeled here, so magenta goes all the way on the left. So to get these out, you just have to pull this tab to release it and then lift it out. I did not show you that before. And there is ink that is coming out of here. Just dabbing it to make sure it's not leaking. Push it in through the back end and then push it down so it clicks in. And do that for the other 5, putting the correct cartridge in the right spot. I want to close the cover. These orange clips all have ink in them, so I'm going to take them to the sink, wash them or rinse them with some hot water, and then put them and wrap them up in a paper towel and store them. And now I'm going to print a tester sheet on just a regular piece of paper. This is not edible paper, it's just computer paper. I'm so mad that I wasted that piece of edible paper on those faded images. Yes, look how much more vibrant this is than this. So now for the real test, I will use a piece of edible icing sheet. So just keep my icing sheets over here. Always make sure you seal your envelope every time you take one out. If you don't, you're gonna forget. I always load it with this extra piece down. And now I'm going to print again. So much better. So here you go. What a difference between the lackluster blah prints and just after a little TLC, the bright and pretty and vibrant colors that come once you get those sponges to absorb the ink. Now this is just one of the solutions. You may also have a clogged printer head, which is a completely different process. So I have videos on how I unclog an edible printer head, how I fill my edible printer ink cartridges, how I use edible images. I will link everything in the description below if you want to get more familiar with how to use this system. So I got my Icing image printer system at Icing Images. I love Icing Images. I have been shopping at their website for years. I will link in the description below where you can find the Icing Images website. So I think that's it for now. If you have any questions about this, leave them below. I will get back to you. And you can follow me on social media. I am on Instagram and Facebook, and I have my website, and I will link everything below as well. And if you want to stick around, you can watch these videos next and hit the subscribe button and the bell if you haven't already. Please like this video if you liked it and got something out of it. It really helps me out. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you on the next one. Bye.